to them, and we're going to see some great attacks. I cannot wait to see what everything's on the line. You lose, and you're eliminated.
And Lady B, this is where the qualifier gets interesting. The World Championship War is only 1 day away. But the one thing we've been impressed with is the base building, right?
Absolutely. And for HT family, I have been super impressed. They were able to, while they didn't get the win over ATN yesterday, they were able to hold off Linade and Yo-Yo. And Yo-Yo with great percent. And then we saw their defenses coming in solid against Darkest Muzan. So really impressed with their base building. And I'm curious to see how it's going to come into play today against Existence Carbon.
Yeah, and we're kicking it off now with KLY of HT family coming in with the Zap Lalo. And we're seeing the Yeti to be started off to help grab the spell or the spell factor. Oh wait, the king's come. Wait. Oh, he's lighting the town hall area with the earthquakes to open up and take that down. See, he did just pull out 2 archers. Not too big of a deal there, as long as he can try to charge his way towards this town hall.
Yeah, the coordination on time is a little interesting here, but he manages to get his way open, pathing set for the queen to help take on the town hall. And we've got the king doing the tanking for her while she snipes it out here, but it's going to need to force these abilities.
Yeah, luckily the town hall now, it goes down with the queen ability. Unfortunately, she did have to use, but here comes the Lalo coming in. He does have to deal with 2 scatter shots, and the queen gonna still, and the world champion still standing on the opposite side. When I've done Lalos, and you still have those 2 defending heroes that can hit your loons, it is a huge deal.
Could be a massive deal for him as well, but he's held on to his own royal champion with an ice golem to potentially come in for the back end of this raid and give her a little extra tank. We've got the freeze down now for the air defense, the air sweeper that remains here to get those loons in right to the core.
Yeah, they're pushing their way straight through. The Eagle is up, but the Royal Champion has to use the freeze on the defending Royal Champion. And can he keep this momentum moving through? The Eagle is about to go down. Drops his final freeze there towards the Wizard and the single target Inferno.
Oh, this has worked out perfectly. The Ice Golem still doing tanking, hanging on to the last second for this Royal Champion ability. Gets the Seeking Shield off, and he has hammered through this one. This is an incredible start here, Carbon, for KLY.
Yeah, still has that Stone Slammer gonna pop here. Actually, no, it just takes down those buildings and has the Royal Champion still moving in with a minute left. This is what a way to kick it off. KLY coming in with the 3-star here in the elimination match between Existence.
As impressed as I've been with HT family and their defenses, they're not ceasing to amaze us here, coming in with a very strong start. I think maybe the nerves have settled out. They told us in their very first qualifiers back in August that they were nervous going in.
ICU, and we're seeing the classic hybrid attack.
I love the hybrid attack, probably one of my favorite strategies here because it's easy to navigate your pathing when you can get a proper queen charge going. And that's where he's starting off here. We've got the Giant to do some tanking for the queen, which is a good position because he comes in on a Tesla farm almost like he was suspecting it might be here.
But that queen's ability is popped here. Unfortunately, gonna have to now deal with the Clan Council. He's gonna have the Headhunters and the Lava Hound coming out. There is the poison spell to help deal with it. It's gonna take quite a bit of time. He only decided to go with 1 poison here. He does not have a minion, so he's gonna have to get through the Lava Hound a little. Gonna take some time, but let's see if he can set up this charge. But no queen ability is gonna be huge, and it could really backfire.
We talk a lot about the queen ability and how we want to see it reserved a little bit further through, sometimes at the end of the raid, but we want to see this queen alive. Hybrids generally do need some extra time for that cleanup, and that's why the queen is so essential. So having her stay alive is going to be crucial, but he's lining up the path now. We have the king down and set, and the queen is still working along, but we need to see the push starting to get ready to come in for the hybrid, which is going to be by funneling with the siege barracks.
Yep, that siege barracks has to come down. He has to make his way towards the town hall. Does drop that super wall break, but it's not going to get that queen towards the town hall, unfortunately, because there is an open compartment to the right side. The queen, though, can get a ton of value, which is the bomb tower, the multi-target Inferno, scatter, the Royal Champion. This is not looking too bad as long as he can get that value next to the town hall.
Yeah, not too bad. He's lined up the siege barracks now at the 9 o'clock side. I don't know if this was adjusting because he didn't get his queen coming in, but it was quick thinking. If that's the case, a queen needs to take on the scatter, and we are going to see the warden ability helping to keep the hybrid come through safely past the town hall.
That ground skeleton really stalled up those miners, unfortunately, forced to pop that Warden Eternal Tome. Remember, that queen does not have her ability, and luckily she's not getting hit by too much, and she's staying alive here with the healers. Freezes the scatter shot, but he drops the rage through here, needs to get to this queen.
That queen needs to go down fast. The rage, a perfect combination. Not layering up his spells, but getting them pushing forward, which is exactly what he needs to do. Heal coming down into the splash on the tail end, and we still have the Royal Champion ability. This queen may stay alive with the freeze, helping to hold off that single targeting Inferno if the miners make their way through quick enough.
Yes, the single's about to go down. No, the miners are just going to get picked off here, so it's going to stand. The Royal Champion's ability goes off with just above 25 seconds left in the raid. Queen doesn't have her ability, but the single goes. No, the single stays up, unfortunately.
Not nearly enough time to get this one done. This is the defense that HT family has been coming in with so strong. Really being able to take down some top players in this World Championship Finals.
Metro coming in with a 91% 2-star, just unfortunately not able to, and so happy that they were even voted in by the wild card. And so they've been trying so hard to keep this momentum going, Carbon.
Yeah, absolutely. And they're coming now in with the E-Drax. And if you guys are curious, and have you in your war used the combination of the lightning and the earthquake? Well, if you have, the first player to do it that I saw on the qualifier stage was Fire. This player right here was the one to show us how to do the Lightning Quake Royal Champion ability. So he's now coming in, not using that, decides to come in with the classic E-Drags.
This is something that they're known so well for, is the E-Dragons, because they're also one of those first teams that showed us how quickly you can rage through a base with these E-Drags. He's got a nice path set for them, a little wide, but because of the chain effect that they have, they can rip through very quickly with those rages helping to force them along.
Looking to continue with the heroes on the top side, set the funnel to get the E-Drax towards the Town Hall. But he decides to go with that Battle Blimp. E-Drax gets some chain lightning off, activates the Town Hall here, hanging on to this Royal Champion, but we still have 4 freezes to use in the raid.
Those fort freezers are going to come to play as he gets to the Town Hall. We still have the King and Queen surviving, and the Queen may last just a little bit longer as the E-Drags work their way up. That multi he needs to get through freezes up, though. The Wizard Tower wants to eliminate that splash damage. We've got the Royal Champion, the last one to power through here with her ability and the freezes to help hold off the defenses.
Yes, and the single is about to, it does just go down right there, but unfortunately, these Z-Dragons have all been slowly picked off. The Royal Champion's going to go down here, and this is going to be a defense from Michael DP here.
Oh, nicely placed Skellies to hold off Fire.
In the World Final, so everything is on the line for both of these clans here. And we have Michael DP coming in with the Zap Queen charge, Lalo. We're seeing the Inferno Tower, the Expo, all of that go down, including the Sweeper here. Now the Queen can set up her charge, but look at this. Only 2 freezes potentially for this Lalo portion.
Those freezes can pick up some massive value, though. It's all on how you use them. You've got to have ice in your veins to get through this kind of pressure here. And Michael DP is one of those players that can get that done. We've got the Yeti down that's helping to path out the Queen, and the King also funneling from the opposite side to get this force and push coming in to the Town Hall and get through these super minions from the Clan Castle.
Yeah, needs to get through the super minions. Drops the rage there onto the Queen. Does have 2 super wall breaks. Where is this Queen going? Should loop back towards the Town Hall. Finally, she does. And the Town Hall should hopefully go down. Luckily, these healers are out of range of it. He's going to have the Lalo fly around with no haste. Maybe save onto a rage for it. But this Queen, she does actually loop back towards the middle.
Right towards the middle. He gets a nice opening here to force the Queen through. He wants to get that pathing moving around, get towards the Eagle. Now that's something on the back end that's going to continue to rain down on his Loon Parade. So he needs more power out of this Queen. And here comes a Stone Slammer to help force these Loons straight across that path while the Air Sweeper pushes them back.
Yeah, with that Grand Warden ability still until the Warden pops the ability. Watch out, we're going to see a couple, yes, some red air bombs in the middle by the multi, but the Royal Champion now advancing to the enemy Queen, helping take her down, still has her ability. Queen's beating on the wall. This is looking really good. If he can keep this up, the Royal Champion is going to come up clutch here for the backside Tesla farm.
Michael DP coming through for his team to try and turn everything around. We've got the Tesla farm, the Skellies trying to hold off the Royal Champion, but we've got a minute on the clock and the Queen ability left here.
That Queen coming in right here to help grab these defenses. She's going to be responsible for finishing off this base, and that is the importance of the Queen walks, Queen charges. Keeping her alive is everything. If she goes down, if you lose those healers, typically in your raid, you can lose all that momentum, pops the ability, and finishes it off for another 3-star in this war. Existence now deciding to go in with the hybrid, and look at that, did decide to use the power potion. They were to max out the troops, coming in with that boulder bounce to help take down that gold mine, to help set that funnel, to make sure he's getting the Queen to go exactly where he wants. Pulls out some headhunters, decides to go in with that early poison spell, not wanting to go with the freeze. We don't know what else is inside that CC, so hopefully it's nothing too bad. We've got, okay, it's just the Hound as well, so it's not too bad there.
Gets that rage down just in time, and I like the use of the buller bounce. I think it's highly underrated and highly underused, but it's when you can find the base flaw to allow your bullers to get in without taking on too much damage to help with your funnel. Blimp is sailing across to get to the town hall as the Queen carries on to lead her way to the scatter shot.
Yep, and the Queen is moving her way towards there, and the Blimp taking the town hall down. Tornado Trap actually activated right there. This can be some nice value from this Queen, charging her way towards the scatter. Has another super wall breaker, potentially to break through the next wall by the multi, and that single target where the Queen is charging. Finally drops the King, and now we're going to send the hybrid between that Queen and the King to make its way towards that Eagle.
He's got a great push to the core here. That super wall breaker goes down, gets the Queen the access he needs. Now we will see the hybrid taking a little bit of a push past her, but having the Queen help out, even if it's slightly behind, is always a good push. But it means we're gonna have to see the King really get through and continue that force along straight into the core for the miners and the hogs.
Still hanging on to that Grand Warden Eternal Tome, moving its way in, but did he wait too long here? That Queen clearing the enemy Queen in the middle, getting the valley pop, finally pops the Grand Warden ability, pushing his way to the back end.
Perfect timing because they're coming into contact with the scatter shot here, gets the heal down. Royal Champion working her way behind, but taking on a lot of damage. So we need to see that Seeking Shield go off, makes the connection to the single targeting Inferno, but will he get it down?
Finally, the Queen gets through the wall. There's the freeze spell. The Royal Champion is about to go down. She somehow stays alive here. Sends the blue minion to help grab that mortar. But the Royal Champion is hanging on by a sliver of health.
That Royal Champion just does not want to go down without a fight, just as HT Family does. Coming through, 34 seconds left to go, is K bringing the 3-star and trying to continue some pressure on to Existence to power through to a victory if they want to get their way into tomorrow's matches.
Absolutely needs to keep up those 3 stars coming, and
that he would be able to answer this call. He is notoriously superb with these dragons. We saw it in the last matchup, bringing that 3-star in. So he's trying to come in for his team and bring them to victory. Say, HT Family, this is no pressure.
Coming in, looking to come in with those dragons, and he's already got 2 triples so far. Utilizing the boulder bounce. I love the use of the giant to tank that cannon right there. Now that the air defense is gone, he can help set up potentially a funnel. Does he want to get this? I'm curious. It looks like he's sending these dragons towards the town hall and deciding to hang on to these heroes for the back end portion of the base.
Delaying the heroes is going to give him a lot of power coming through, and yes, that push for the dragons, you want to come directly towards a town hall or have a blimp to help sail across to get to it if it's slightly to the edge. The Stone Slammer adding some extra value here. It did some tank, but we need to see everything working properly through, and here you can see the heroes are down and set to keep the path moving along straight to 9 o'clock.
That was a beautiful Grand Warden Eternal Tome to clip every single one of those dragons into the middle. Now the Queen does have to freeze that single target Inferno to keep that Queen alive. Hang on to the abilities, freezes the middle. The dragons are finally pushing their way there.
The heroes helping move this along as the king and queen reserve their abilities. The king just forcing it, but this is going to give so much more to the queen. This is shaped up perfectly, and we still have the royal champion who is now at the 11 o'clock top side of the base with Goblin to help out with some of the cleanup. That sneaky Goblin trying to work fast with what he knows is going to be a potential issue with those storages up top.
Oh, look at this. The Royal Champion coming in to finish off this Archer Tower. No, she goes. Wait a second. She goes down. Does have Queen ability. The enemy Queen is still alive. Can these two dragons, Queen and King, get this push through?
The ability is going to be needed. The timing of this is going to be crucial. The Queen surviving the scatter shot because the dragons are taking it on, and the King continuing to tank for her. But we still have the X-Bow. She needs to get past the Queen here, Carbon.
The Queen, she goes for the wall. She doesn't walk around it. She's going for the wall. I don't know how much help the X-Bow's got. Can the Queen get this X-Bow down? No, it locks onto her. But the archers, can the archers take the X-Bow down? Yes, they get the 3-star. The archers for the clutch. Banks, that is what they needed to do to keep it all tied up on stars.
Right down to the wire. Almualin just manages to secure that triple and keep.
We're going to have to see if HT family again can try and continue to apply pressure with the 3 stars and find some opening later on for defense. More dragon action coming in with the Zapquake to help line up the pathing.
Yeah, we're seeing more of these lightnings being used here on this Eagle Artillery. Has 5 more, could probably drop it on one of the Expos that are, there is the single target Inferno. Does decide to take it down, and the Royal Champion. Beautiful job. The Royal Champion will go down to the 7 Lightning as long as that Grand Warden is not anywhere near her, because she would receive the buff from the defending Grand Warden. So that's one of the reasons why if you've used the 7 Lightning and one of the heroes don't go down, that could be the big reason why.
I want to point out the fact that this is taking a lot of time and investment in shaping up the path. He does use the sneaky goblins to help with one side of the base, but he wanted to take that time to ensure, like you said, that the Royal Champion goes down. I do wonder if it's going to cut it really close in the end, just as we saw with Almualin's dragon attack, because dragons are notoriously slow.
And he is starting these dragons with just about 2 minutes left in the raid, which means it is great to get the dragons moving through. The Yeti is down. They're going to have to pull out this clan castle, but notice he doesn't have any poison spells for this push here.
The dragons will try and burn their way through those headhunters quickly. They need to do it before they latch onto the warden, and that is exactly what they do. Again, we get to see some delayed heroes to help push the pathing along. We'll see the king and queen likely set at that 3 o'clock side, and down they go to keep the momentum moving.
Pushing their way through the scatter shot, but the sweeper is still staying up top. Tornado Trap spins some of the loons around. The baby dragon getting picked off. And look at this Tesla farm that's inside the base for Riga Torres. Probably something you don't typically expect there, but pops that king ability, running around and finally still trying to decide when to drop the Royal Champion.
I think a little delayed on that king ability because the dragons are pushing their way out. He needs to get in a little bit deeper, but now we have the Royal Champion down at a good time to try and force everything moving towards 9 o'clock. He's got that one archer, though, who's on the storage there trying to take away one of the highest hit point structures that's going to remain at the end of this raid. But he's not made the push inside the base.
The Queen's ability goes off, taking out that Tesla. She's beating through the wall. Does have a few dragons up top, but that sweeper did so much work in this Queen to stay alive. I don't think so. She goes down. But can these dragons and the king get it done here? It needs to get through and keep that push. Luckily, the sweeper is not going to push these dragons back.
No, coming right behind the king, trying to take the outer edge with the cleanup, but there's traps and so much damage now. Firing down on these dragons. One remains going down now. The warden, the only one to try and get this done. And the king cannot do it because even though he has the tank factor, he doesn't have the time.
Wow, that king does have plenty of health right there, but finish
using the super witches to bring in one more 3-star and put in a nail for a coffin.
Yeah, we're seeing the Super Witches with 2 jump spells we typically tend to see Super Witches with what? The lightning. And there it is, taken out, and takes out that Scatter and that Expo. Noticing how he doesn't have any rage spells, so he's deciding to substitute the jumps in to try to get as much value as possible with the Blimp. Looking to take out that single target Inferno and pull out the Clan Castle. So if he's dropping this Queen somewhere, it finally does. Needs to help take the CC down pretty quick and then get these Super Witches moving towards that Town Hall.
He's got a nice path to this now because we can see it's just an L shape. A lot of times we see a little bit more that you have to work through the U-shape factor. And this could help him a little bit more with the time. We've got 5 tanky Super Witches with their big boys. That's the biggest factor for this, is allowing them to do that work, to take on the tank, especially as we have the Scatter Shot and the Eagle further through in the core and the back end of the base.
That single target Inferno locked on to the Queen. Hopefully it doesn't continue to lock on the Queen. The Lava Hound slowing her down. Finally, some of the Barbarians and the Ice Golem do make their way over towards that single target Inferno to protect her, but he was forced with that early freeze. Pushing his way through, might decide not to use that War Internal Tome because he wants to protect these Super Witches for later in the raid.
Yeah, especially with the damage coming down. Eagle trying to land some early blows here, but he's able to power his way through with the Ice Golem helping to do some epic work straight into the core. And we have the Royal Champion now for a lot of the outside defenses, which is perfect because the King had to force his way back in, and she's going to cut this path for a push along.
Yeah, the Royal Champion on the outside. And luckily, these Super Witches, but one of the Witches got stuck on the bottom side, not making that push in, but the Queens take out the multi-target Inferno, and hopefully this Royal Champion gonna have to burn her up. No, she doesn't have to burn her ability, can save it for a little bit later here.
Tornado Trap hanging on the Queen. The big boys, the Royal Champion, trying to tick down that clock and keep this from getting done. Now the Royal Champion forced to use this ability here. Doesn't get the shot on the Eagle, but the Witch is there, gets it down, and the Royal Champion coming in for an assist. We have the Queen ability though still.
Yes, the Queen ability is finally forced here from that cannon. The Royal Champion's getting all this value still, taking out that air defense. The Wizard Tower goes down as well. With just about 36 seconds left in the raid, the Queen, can she stay alive? But this Archer Tower hopefully doesn't lock onto the Queen here.
These big just too far behind. Not there, out and tanking for the Queen. And this is why you can see it's such a slow moving raid. They could get it done, but they don't have the time with only 16 seconds left, Carbon.
Yeah, unfortunately, these big boys, not enough here with 10 seconds left in this raid, which now is leaving the door open for HT Family. They needed that defense, and it is only about the 92%, but Existence still have this lead here, Banks.
The connection through HT Family yet again, being able to hold off some solid defense, but can they come in where it counts, pick up the triple here? Jinmu trying to power in with that and bringing in the drag attack. We've got the lightning spell combination to help work through, I'm going to assume likely with this Royal Champion who's taking the lead for that single targeting Inferno.
It is, and the Royal Champion, unfortunately, another Tesla does pop, probably looking to use, the Blimp gonna put, it gets pushed back. He could use a lightning to reset it. Can he get into this compartment? And yes, it does. The raged up E-Dragon Balloon's gonna hopefully kill off this CC. Does decide to freeze up the headhunters because the E-Dragon will get slowed down tremendously. Remember, if Jinmu triples this, Existence still have the opportunity to answer.
They do, but it comes down to trying to give it your all, give it everything you can, and know and be secure in the fact that you've brought some of the best defense you have. And that's what HT Family is relying on, not only their offensive skill, but their power in defense. Dragons get through the Town Hall, Warden Tome getting them safely through, and the heroes pushing along.
The Dragons pushing their way towards the middle, finding the Tornado Trap and some Air Skellies with the defending Queen, trying to pick it off, and ended up deciding to go with that freeze for the Queen. Decides to use another Rage, only has one freeze spell left over, but with that King moving around, hopefully can help pick off this air defense, forcing these Dragons into the middle. He's got to keep this momentum moving.
And he's got that dragon up on the 10 o'clock side of the base, was working along with a minion. This is helping with some of the cleanup, which is definitely a necessity with your dragons because of the time factor that we talk about. But can he continue the power through? We've got a scatter shot here. We saw in the last dragon raid that was one of the determining factors. But with the queen ability, if she can work her way in while the dragon's tank force her way through, she can let off that ability and get through it.
The queen beating through the wall here. The scatter shot is reachable. Everything to the queen she can grab. But the problem is, does she have the tanking? The air expo will eventually lock on her. Gonna have to burn her ability. It comes down to this Popsy ability. Down goes the scatter shot. The air defense is gonna go down next. The king still has quite a bit of health, but I don't know if this has got enough time. Gonna have to push his way all the way through with the expo still alive.
Oh, and the king is trying to block her from getting to the expo, but she gets knocked down anyway, and the king is not gonna be enough here.
Oh my, the king's gonna get stalled up here. The enemy king and these defenses is not gonna be enough, which is going to be yet another a 2-star here for HT family, a 97% 2-star.
Come in with these different strategies and coming in with the super witch again.
Yeah, deciding to say, hey, we're going with the super witches, and we see the percentage. 91% 2-star is required for Rigatores to advance existence to the next round. If he does not get that, existence is eliminated from the World Finals. Uses the lightning and the earthquakes, takes out that section. Remember, you have to start these witches off pretty quick. You can't spend all this time on the Wooden Walk because of time here.
I think he's going with a safe approach coming in with the super witches. We know that they're a tanky unit. We know that they come close to picking up those 3 stars, and when they don't, we see the high percentages. So this is a perfect position for Rigo to be in, coming in with this particular strategy when only one attack can make the difference here.
The king finally attests the farm on the top side with these witches and big boys moving the way towards the town hall. Does have one jump more to use to get to the core scatter and the multi-target inferno, but the siege barracks finally coming out. Pekka gonna help assist on the outside. Pops that warden internal tome to protect these witches right over that town hall gigabomb.
Straight through into the core. Poison needs to come down to help with the clan castle troops coming out. We've got a great push from that siege barracks. The wizards are really helping to capture the push and the funnel here, but I'm curious to see what we're going to have come out of it. He still needs to make his way in. He's been held off in the core.
Yeah, he has been. Valkyries do come out of this clan castle, but these super witches, are they going down here? They are so tanky. Remember, he needs a 91% 2-star to help Existence win this war. If he doesn't, if he gets a 90, they will lose. World champion coming in, the defending king goes down, and a handful of these super witches are still standing in the middle.
Hanging on to the hero abilities. He knows this could help determining how high of a percent he can hold on to. The eagle firing down on the healers, but the queen is hanging on.
The queen and the super witches in the middle with the queen ability. RC's gonna have to force her ability here, but can take down this archer tower. And we have, using one archer on the top side, does get the skip. 79, 80%, 81. The queen taking out the scatter shot. He needs a 91. This is getting close, Lady B.
Very close here as the royal champion continues to forge ahead, hanging on to the queen ability, knowing that he could have a giant bomb, and he doesn't want to lose on the archers that come out to help for the cleanup. Carbon, Rigo Torres is not going home with just a 2-star. He's going for glory here for his team.
Rigatores coming in, not only gets the required percentage 2-star, but he's going for the triple. There's the barracks, and the cannon is the last building left for this queen. Rigatores 23 coming in and advances Existence to Sunday. What a war.
When it all comes...